What is ranking? Well, once we've published our web page, asked the search engines to crawl it, had them crawl, index and render it, all without any issues, they just need to determine where in their SERPs it will display our content for various words or phrases. This is predetermined in order to speed up delivery of results to searchers. But as well as speed, the search engines want to deliver relevant, useful results. After all, if searchers can't find content they want to find, they will soon start using a different search engine. Relevancy can be determined by many factors. These factors and the search engine algorithms change on a regular basis, always trying to ensure that good, relevant content is higher in their SERPs. When a person searches for a word or phrase, the search engine will check its index for content that it considers relevant to the searcher's query. Using many data points, it will return a ranked list of results that it believes best fits the searcher's requirements. The number of data points, combined with the subjectivity introduced by attempting to determine a searcher's intent via just a few words, means that different search engines will very often return very different results. Way back in 2006, Google announced that it used over 200 ranking signals or factors. Today that figure could be considerably higher, particularly given the increase in server farms, processing power, and speed of computer storage, both memory and disk. There could be perhaps as many as 1 billion factors, give or take 1 billion. Listed in the slide are 8 categories of ranking signals, and there could well be many more. To the right, we have expanded the page level category to see just a few of the signals that have been identified. As you can see, there are so many categories that it would be very time consuming to attempt to rank for each and every one. The key is to ensure your pages adhere to quality standards, have useful, relevant content, and adhere to Webmaster Guidelines, and then you'll be halfway there. When a user supplies a query to a search engine, the search engine will return a list of resources that it believes are the most relevant to the query. There are many factors that may be taken into consideration based on what the search engine perceives your intent to be. For example, searching for Chinese restaurants should return results local to where you are. Listing actual restaurants in China when you're in Lower Trumpington is not terribly helpful unless you are planning a trip to China. But how would a search engine know if you're planning a trip to China, or just looking for a takeaway? Search engines do try to determine intent, but they aren't perfect and can't be. We cannot possibly look at all the factors the search engines use to try and improve our ranking, but we can look at some basics. The most important is to see what advice the search engines themselves give, commonly known as Webmaster Guidelines. Amongst other factors, these note that we should make sure our web pages and sites are quick to load, work well on mobile devices, provide relevant, useful, and up-to-date content. These methods taken collectively are commonly referred to as technical SEO, and that is what this course is about. Google uses a link analysis algorithm called PageRank to rank pages. Some say that it is named after Larry Page, one of Google's founders, rather than because it ranks pages per se. PageRank is sometimes referred to as link juice because of the way the score, or rank, flows from link to page. PageRank is a numerical weighting assigned to a page based mostly on a number of links that point to it, and the value, i.e. PageRank, that the linking page has. As mentioned, it also passes from a web page to pages that it links to. This feature is sometimes referred to as rank flow. The higher the PageRank score for a page, the higher it is likely to appear in SERPs. There are a number of tools that attempt to calculate PageRank, and they all use different names for the metric. For example, Majestic calls it TrustFlow, Moz.com, Page Authority. DeepCrawls is DeepRank. Ahref calls it URL rating, and so on. As pages pass PageRank, or link equity or link juice, it is because it is assumed that the page finds the link to page to be relevant and useful. This means that the link to page may be considered authoritative, if there are many such links to it, especially if the linked words or phrases are the same or similar. The PageRank passed is dependent on the number of links on the parent page. For example, if there are 5 links, then each would get 20% off the page's PageRank. Links will not count if they have a nofollow attribute, of course. Note that the example image shown does not show other pages linking to the 3 pages on the right. Given that there are other pages linking to them, they will gain additional PageRank from those in addition to the 33 shown. The passing of PageRank shows us that backlinks, i.e. links to our site from other sites and from our pages to our other pages, is very important. Web pages are considered more important the more they are cited elsewhere. Think of these citations as a vote of confidence for that web page. Be aware that search engines will not count and may even penalise any links that are paid or are from adverts. Be sure not to breach the webmaster's guidelines that the various search engines publish. Intent in the context of search is a searcher's intentions. What are they trying to find? Satisfying this intent is the primary goal of search engines. As mentioned before, if you search for Chinese restaurants and get a SERP chock full of links to restaurants in China, when you actually wanted a list of restaurants that serve Chinese-style food in your local village of Lower Trumpington, then you are going to quickly abandon that search engine and use another, as the results are of no use to you, as they have failed to understand your intent. Of course, just as the search engines need to understand the searcher's intent, it is also important for us to ensure our content is aimed at the searcher's intent too, so they don't simply bounce back to the SERP after a couple of seconds by using their browser's back button, because that content doesn't appear relevant or useful to them. Searcher's intent can be classified into 4 types. Informational intent is one of the most common. Simply put, the searcher is looking for information. A cake recipe, directions to Lower Trumpington, what times the local Chinese restaurant is open. We then have commercial intent. This is where the searcher is looking for information about a product or service that they are considering buying. Perhaps they are looking for the sellers of Chinese food, or a comparison of Chinese restaurants in order to decide which one to visit. Third, we have transactional intent. Closely related to commercial intent, this is where the searcher has identified the product or service and are now trying to find a site to purchase it from. Finally, we have searchers that are trying to find a specific website, and this is called navigational intent. For example, when a user simply searches for Blu-ray Academy, instead of typing blu-rayacademy.com, that is a navigational intent, they are simply trying to navigate to the blu-rayacademy.com site. Note how the first 3 intents are closely related. First, a person searches for information, which results in them looking for a product to buy before finally trying to find the cheapest or best quality or whatever suits them version of the product in order to pay for it. To meet the need for determining intent, in June 2021, Google announced its new development, MUM, or Multitask Unified Model. This innovative product attempts to overcome language and formats by utilizing artificial intelligence in order to gain deeper insights into searchers' intentions. The idea is that instead of making many queries to gather all the information you want, Google wishes to determine what you need without you having to make all those searches. An example Google has given is that if you wish to climb Mount Fuji, then it would like to return all information that is relevant to you. For example, what the temperature and climate might be like, the elevation of the mountain, which routes to take, the difficulty of said routes. It is apparently the future of search. It certainly will be if it successfully incorporates its intentions to cross over language barriers. It will mean that results can be attained by English speakers that are contained in websites written in Japanese. And of course, Japanese websites are perhaps more likely to be authoritative when it comes to the subject of Mount Fuji. There are a number of ways your content may be displayed within SERPs. Besides a standard list of results, there are other features that Google may choose to use for your content, such as those listed here. To appear in these, you may need to add schema, also known as structured data, to your page. There are many types of schema, which are listed on the schema.org website. It is also worth searching the Google's developers site for their search gallery, which lists the various types of schema that Google currently uses. It also includes advice and examples for adding the relevant JSON-LD schema to your web page code. Schema that can be added includes recipes, blog posts, factual articles, frequently asked questions, books, courses, events, products, reviews, podcasts, and so on. All of these can help increase traffic to your site if you utilize that schema. And so we get to the end of this lesson and nearly the end of the module. When you continue from this lesson, there will be a brief test of 5 questions to test what you have learned. And then this technical view of how search works module will be complete. Remember, crawling is being put on the start line for a race. Index and rendering are the race itself, whereas ranking is completing the race and the position the content or page ends up in within the search engine result page.